Okay, in order to fill in the show your work and explain in your own words how you arrived at your answers, when you're typing up the explanation, just type it right within this box. And then when you want to type the math stuff, you're going to click on this equation editor right here, so you can see it lighting up. All right. So I would start by saying to solve an absolute value inequality, I'll make sure I'm spelling correctly, equation, you must first isolate the absolute value. Boop. And then I'd hit return, probably give a space there. And actually, if you want, you can, like, highlight this, you can make it bold, you can italicize it if you want. There's even some color, I think. Text color, yeah. You want to put it in like purple. I use a lot of purple, I don't know why. So you can do that. And then hit equation editor. And this window pops up. And this is where I would type in the math. A to the B should have, nope, I don't see absolute values there. What about the parenthesis one? Yes, there we go. There's my absolute value right there. Hope you can see that. And then I have to backspace and type in x minus 3 and then arrow over to get out of there, and then plus 4. And if you search through all these buttons, like this one, the next one, the next one, there's a crap load of stuff in here. And what I'm looking for is my greater than or equal to sign, and there isn't one. That's because this thing is programmed on your keyboard. You have a less than sign and a greater than sign down next to the M. So I'm going to hit shift and the greater than sign, because my equation had greater than or equal to. So I hit the greater than sign, and then when I hit the equal to button, boom, it puts it right in there. And then I'll space and hit 10. And then it won't let me return, so I would hit done. And it puts it in there. Now I can hit return, and I'll probably put another space in there. And now I would say something like subtract 4 from both sides, because it's hard to show that, so I would explain it instead. I'm going to subtract 4. Then I pop up the equation editor again, go absolute value, boop, x minus 3, and then scroll to the right to get out of there. And if I subtract 4 from both sides, the plus 4 to the left, let me show you my equation again. The plus 4 here on the left of the greater than or equal sign will disappear, and then on the right side of the greater than or equal to sign, 10 minus 4 would be 6. So coming back to my little box here, I will type, I'll hit shift, greater than, let go of the shift, and hit equal to. And then I hit space, and of course 10 minus 4 is 6. And then I will enter, oh, what happened to my absolute value sign? Hey, where'd you go? Huh, alright, well I don't know what happened to it, so I'll start over on that part. Absolute value, and x minus 3, there we go. And done. Okay, what is that? Oh, I see what I did. Oops-a-daisies, I put the absolute value in there. Okay. Alright, so let's say you make a big mistake like that and you've already hit enter. You're going to have to highlight it and hit delete. Or backspace. Yeah, backspace. Hit equation editor again. There is a learning curve to this, I will tell you. So be prepared to spend a little bit of time with it. Oop, x minus 3. I would suggest doing it all on paper first. Greater than, equal to, space, and 6. And now hit done. Okay, that looks better. And I probably, highlight this, make it bold, put it in a different color, because the color really helps separate the stuff. You don't always have to use the same color. You can also change the font size. If you want the words to be a little bigger, you can go make it 10 and hello, are you going to make it bigger? It doesn't look like it made it any bigger. I thought it was going to make it bigger. Oops, I missed my T. Here, let me try this one, some smaller. Size 11. Well, what a bunch of crap. It's not. Why is that option there if it's not allowing me to do it? I don't know. But anyway, I have a small computer screen, so maybe for me it just looks too small. Okay, now I have isolated. The absolute value is now isolated. God. Isolated. Isolated? Isolate, yeah. That's it. So next we split the equation into two parts. Okay, enter, enter. And I would hit my equation editor again, and now the two parts is going to be either the, let's see, you drop the absolute values and you say x plus 3 is either going to be greater than, greater than or equal to the 6, or x plus 3 will be less than or equal to the negative 6. And done. Okay, and I spelled absolute wrong. There's an E on there, absolute. I don't know if there's a spell check on this thing or not, but as long as you are expressing to me, you know, how you're doing it, I don't usually get too bent out of shape about typos because this could be difficult. And I thought I put spaces in between there. What the heck? It's not showing up. That's weird. But anyway, that is very weird. Okay, so what would I have to do? It didn't put the space in there. We're gonna x plus 3. So maybe I have to go x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 6, and then hit done. Space, 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 or space, space, space. There we go. X plus 3 is less than or equal to 6, and done. There, I guess that's how you have to do it. So the equation editor really should only be for the math part. Anything that you need to put in words, I would just type it in the, you know, space. How about some blue this time? Make it bold. There you go. Anyway, and then I'd keep going and I would state on the next line, now subtract, whoops, that should have been a negative 6. Can I edit it within here? Ooh, cool. Sorry, I just noticed it. I double clicked it and it let me edit it. I didn't have to delete it before. Oh, sorry about that. You can double click it, watch. Like up here, I could have double clicked it and it would have opened up and I could have fixed it instead of, you know, retyping it all again. Anyway, so then I would go on to say, now subtract 3 from both sides, and then I'd go from there. This program that I use to make recordings only gives me 10 minutes, and I'm already at the 9-minute and 20-second mark, so that's one way to do it, okay? I'm not saying it's the end-all, beat-all way to do it, but you do have to somehow explain what you're doing and show me the work. And it'd be nice if you showed it vertically like this. Sometimes when people try to type the way I did a second ago on this line right here, when I try to type it all within the equation editor, it does not come out looking very well, and it makes it hard to read and hard to grade. So do the best you can. I would really appreciate it.